Hey everyone, I'm here with my birthday story today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nashama, and I recently had a baby boy, and I wanted to come on here and share my amazing birthday story because that's just something that I naturally do every time I have a child. This is baby number 7 for me. This is my 7th unmedicated, natural, raw birth. And I want to get into the experience a little bit so that I can share what happened before, what took place before, what led up to labor, how labor went, and how I'm feeling today. So let's get into it.
Can't really see it, but right now I'm doing the mile circuit. I'm currently doing the exaggerated leg lift on this peanut ball. I got it covered because, so it could be a little bit more cozy. I am 40 weeks plus 3. And I do feel a little bit of cramping today, but I feel like I've been crying wolf all day. So I'm just going to document, how I feel after the ball circuit. I had a midwife appointment. Everything looks good. Baby heart rate, my heart rate. They said if I'm still 41 weeks, or if I go to 41 weeks next week, that I'll just get monitored. Like they'll do an ultrasound, check my placenta, make sure everything is good. But yeah, that's the update.
Gave birth to a beautiful baby boy at home, and I had an unmedicated at-home water birth. I had my traditional midwife who came with me, and my traditional midwife has a doula business, and this is the first thing that I want to tell you guys. I highly suggest having a doula, having a traditional midwife, having a midwife if you could afford one, also having somebody who is there who can help you through birth, whether that's a sisterly friend or a couple sister friends or even a spouse. This is very important to get you mentally sound and balanced and grounded when it comes time to go into labor. And I'm so happy that I was able to find doula Shira, she by Shira. She is a doula based company in Central Georgia. I found her on Google, and then I went on her Instagram, and I was able to get in contact with her the very same day. And when I tell you, my doula, she really showed up for me, like when even while I was still pregnant. She came in, she made sure she got to know my other 2 toddlers, my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old. She invited us to her house. We just was able to really connect, her and her child, and we was able to just like build a authentic sisterhood. That way it's a natural flow when it comes to expressing myself, my needs, just trusting her, being able to surrender, because labor is a very intimate thing, and I would say like the steps that she took beforehand leading up to the birth was so essential. Like it just gave me a space to really be seen, and they show up for the village, show up for the community, and they're great at it. So I believe that our ancestors have been doing this for a very, very long time. I mean, look around. How do you think we all got here, right? So it's nothing new, and I just love the idea of having a doula, mainly the women that was there assisting, and I think that it really just made the space of labor so much more beautiful. So, about a few days before I went into labor, I tried to induce my labor, y'all. I tried to induce it with castor oil, red raspberry leaf tea. I even got my mucous membrane stripped because let me tell y'all something. I was 4 centimeters. I was like 1 to 2 centimeters since early 30 weeks, like 32 weeks. I was 4 centimeters by 36 weeks. I stayed at 5 centimeters between week 38 to week 40. And so I felt like I was ready. I went to my midwife appointment, and I asked her to slip my membrane when I turned 40 weeks. Actually, I was 39 weeks and 6 days, but the very next day I would have been my due date. So I asked her to strip my membrane, my mucous membrane. For those of you guys who don't know, that mucous membrane can help to release and start labor, especially if you are prepared to go into labor, especially if you are prepared to go into labor. My body still wasn't prepared to go into labor because my son was not engaging the way that he needed to. And a lot of that was part just movement that I needed to do. I needed to get up, I needed to walk, I needed to lift my legs up, I needed to do like inversions. I was doing the mile circuit, but he just wasn't coming out. And I just figured that he wanted to be a June baby because, that's what he wanted to do. But a few days after that, I actually had one more midwife appointment the following Tuesday morning. And so when I went to my midwife appointment that Tuesday morning, I did feel off. When I woke up that day, I felt very off. I remember expressing it to my sister and telling her, like, hey, I kind of feel off today, but I don't want to keep on crying wolf like I have been doing. I'm going to just let it rock and see if maybe, this is something that is going to go away on its own, or see if maybe this was actually the start of labor. And so I went to my midwife appointment and I asked her to check my cervix again, because I just wanted her to, because listen, I was approaching 41 weeks pregnant, and I was at that point in time I was getting anxious because my body was hurting. My body was hurting like the whole entire last trimester. My body was hurting, my pelvic floor was hurting, my back, my hips rolling over, that sciatic nerve, and then I had like that pubis dysfunction, just bones spreading apart and cracking. Oh my gosh, if you know, then you know what I'm talking about. It was just so annoying. I used magnesium spray, which helped tremendously, but I don't know if my body got immune to that, but I was just very uncomfortable. So yes, I asked my midwife to check my membrane again. I really wanted her to do another strip because the first time that the other midwife did the strip, there was no bloody show, so I think she was just trying to be careful because my water bag was bulging. However, I did ask my midwife to check, see how effaced I was, see where the baby's head position was, and she was just like, girl, I cannot strip your membrane because the baby is all the way up there. She was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think labor is gonna start today or the next couple days. I think you still have some way to go. He still need to work his way down. You know what? Okay, whatever. Because why are you telling me this right now? So I left my midwife appointment a little bit disappointed, but also kind of like, it is what it is at this point. All my kids, they come out at 41 weeks or 42 weeks, so it's nothing new for me. My babies usually need a little natural induction. I've never been induced in the hospital, but natural induction like walking, mile circuit, intimacy of primrose oil, all the things that is needed, I usually have to do to prepare my cervix and get these babies out of me. And I'm just being honest. So I was a little bit sad, but I was just like not super discouraged about it. So I left my midwife appointment and I went to Firehouse to go get me a spicy meatball sub because that's what I was craving. And I just had a lot of hot sauce on that thing. But the whole time I'm having contractions. I'm driving back home. I'm having these wild contractions. And I'm like, ooh, I feel this in my back. I feel this in my lower area. And I got back home. I got home around 3 o'clock. And by 3:30, my contractions was like picking up 10 minutes apart, y'all. I was like, okay, we might be in labor. So I sat on the yoga ball and I was just letting the contractions ride. At this point in time, I texted my doula and my traditional midwife, and I told her like, hey, my contractions has been going on consistently all day today, at least 1 to 2 every hour. But as of 3 o'clock, it's been coming every 10 minutes. And she said, okay, get the tub prepared. I'm on my way. We had already had a lot of the stuff here because, I had a false alarm thinking I was going to go into labor last week. But yeah, we had a lot of the stuff here. So that was very, very good and smart because my labor really progressed quickly. So when my doula and her assistant, they arrived, they were just so supportive. I was in the middle of contractions and my contractions were already intense by the time they walked through the door. So it really wasn't any communication. It was just like action. Like they just knew exactly what I needed, fanning me, giving me water, keeping me hydrated, helping me with the 2 little girls so they could be occupied. I mean, it was just a nice flow, and I just was laboring, honey. I was laboring, like I was working a 12-hour shift back to back to back. It was a real intense body workout. My body was hurting and crackling, and man, labor is definitely a spiritual thing, because the more you surrender to it, the more your body is just going to open up. But if you have restriction, and if you have fear of being blocked up, which I do believe I had fear around this whole pregnancy, and I do believe I had fear around this whole child. Like, this is a rainbow baby for me, so it was a lot of different things that I didn't even realize that I was holding on to my womb. And I actually took the time out to journal about it, because it is a deep reflective time when your womb is opening up, that portal is opening up and about to bring in life. You go through a lot of emotions, you go through a lot of, like, just deep moments of surrender, where it's you and your womb. And if you are resistant to allowing things to flow, if you have fear within that, your cervix is going to close up. And there were moments where I felt like I was delaying my birth. Although my birth was significantly fast, I labored for only 4 hours. There was moments that I feel like I was holding back my cervix because I had some fear. It was the pain, but it was also the emotional, the mental aspect of it, that I was still holding on to certain things. And, like, my pregnancy was a bit challenging for me, like, just emotionally and spiritually. So I feel like once I was able to deeply surrender, that's when the baby got super engaged and he was able to make his entrance. Now, I do want to show you guys eventually some of the techniques that I use to birth, but I could explain that the yoga ball helped tremendously. Sitting on the toilet also helped a lot. Just having anything that was like pulling down the gravity, and having my hips and my cervix open really helped out a lot. Being in the tub really helped out. I labored in the tub for a good hour, and then I came out and my water broke on my bed. And from there, the very next contraction, I hopped back in the tub and I birthed my baby. I birthed my baby on my own. I pulled him right out, the water, and just held him on my chest. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. The things that I would have done differently is really absolutely nothing. But I think that mentally, you really just have to surrender to your body going through that type of experience. You really have to surrender to the pain. You have to let go and know that your mind is capable, know that your body is capable, know that this is a psychological thing, and also it's an ancestral thing. Like, this is embedded in our DNA, and we already know how to birth. We've been known how to birth for generations and generations and generations, and we have to remember how to birth. We have to remember how our bodies work as women, and not be afraid of that, and not be afraid to get to know these aspects of ourselves, because we are more than just, we have more than the ability of giving birth to children. We have the ability to give birth to ideas, thoughts, creations, careers, all types of businesses. So I am saying that not only did I birth myself, but I also birthed myself. I birthed a whole different version. I birthed a whole different woman. And I've been feeling this woman coming into fruition the whole entire time that I was pregnant as well. I just felt a different version of me getting ready to be birthed. And now that I am here, I'm just really getting to know myself. I'm slowing down. I'm just a space of reflection and reflecting on every single aspect of my life, you guys. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Birth will transform you, okay? Birth will transform you. And you don't have to be scared. You don't have to be nervous. There's good, bad, ugly, beautiful, all that stuff in between. It's a very chaotic thing at the same time, but ultimately there is a pot of gold at the end of at the end of the rainbow, which was my son. So I hope this story found you well, and I hope that you know that you could also conquer and have an amazing unmedicated birth. You could also have an amazing home birth, right in the comfort of your home. You can do this. Your body can do this. And if you guys guys want to learn more information, definitely check the link in the comments below, because a Black Woman's Guide to Home Birth, I list out all the things that I did, and I also list out all the tools that I use for my last couple births, and I think that it will be beneficial to you all as well. So thanks for watching. Peace.